Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday morning, March the 14th. Big story across the nation weather-wise is a major snowstorm that continues this morning across much of the Four Corners states. Denver has gotten in on the action. Certainly they've had accumulating snow in the overnight hours. Maybe a little bit of a lull right now, but heavy snow will redevelop in the Denver metro region later on today and continue through the night. Probably an additional 6 to 12 inches of snow for the Denver, Boulder metro areas, which will end up with likely total anywhere from, let's say 10 to 18 inches. Even isolated higher amounts are likely. 2 to 4 feet of snow with this major storm in the foothills just to the west. This is the forecast map from last night's GFS model run, and it goes through the next few days all the way into Sunday morning. And again, I'm expecting a total of 10 to 18 inches or so. Let's say Denver, Boulder, even higher amounts to the south and west of those metro areas. And in the foothills, 2 to 4 feet. This snowstorm will produce some significant accumulating snow in additional Rocky Mountain states. For example, Wyoming and all the Four Corners states are getting involved here. New Mexico, Arizona, and Utah, in addition to Colorado. The only other snowfall of note across the nation, for the most part, way up here in northern North Dakota and up across Maine. But the big story, certainly for the next 24 hours or so, is this major snowstorm for the Rocky Mountain states, and that includes the Denver metro region. Here's the latest radar loop from Colorado, and you can kind of see the movement of the radar echoes to the west, and that's kind of part of the upsloping pattern here that is contributing to the heavy snowfall. Right now it's light to moderate snow falling in the Denver and Boulder areas. It should re-intensify, become heavier again midday, certainly afternoon and evening, and again maybe an additional 6 to 12 inches of snow for these areas by the time it winds down later on tonight. Colorado Springs getting some heavy snow as well. This is the heavy wet variety, so unfortunately that could lead to some power outages over the next 12 to 24 hours or so. Winds gusting up past 30 miles per hour. Well, on the other side of the coin, or should we say on the warm side of this cold frontal system, there will be a severe weather threat, especially later on tonight into the early morning hours of Friday. This is the probability outlook for severe weather by NOAA's Storm Prediction Center. Continuation of an enhanced risk here across Arkansas, basically from southeastern Oklahoma to southern part of Missouri, an enhanced threat of severe weather. It mostly will occur, looks like, later on tonight into the overnight hours, not so much during the next several hours here. But again, this extends all the way up to the Great Lakes from the south central U.S. This is on the warm side of a charging Arctic air mass that's moving across the Rocky Mountain states right now from northwest to southeast, and we'll see in a moment here with the surface maps. There's a lot of influx of very warm and humid air from the Gulf of Mexico that's really adding fuel to the fire. So again, a potential of a severe weather outbreak later today, especially tonight into the early mornings hours on Friday across much of the Mississippi Valley region. Well, we talked about a very slow-moving upper-level wave, and indeed that has dropped southward from the Pacific Northwest all the way into the southwest U.S. And we'll go through the next several frames here. Just note the very slow movement of the system. That is adding to the longevity of this snowstorm in Colorado, New Mexico, and Utah and Arizona as well. And that's one of the reasons why snow will pile up. It'll be a long time of upsloping winds here. You can see these winds blowing from east to west across Colorado. Again, that upsloping flow will last a long time, well into the night, and that will contribute to a lot more snow across that area, that part of the nation. Now, let's move forward here. You can see it kind of sits and spins, excuse me, gets rather cut off here by the time we get to tomorrow morning. It just continues to sit out in that part of the nation over the next few days. Here we are all the way into Sunday morning, still a reflection of it down over Arizona. Meanwhile, up to the north, another area of energy It's dropping south and east from south central Canada into southeastern Canada, and that will have a cold front with it. That cold front passes through the eastern states later in the day on Sunday, and it will usher in a cold air mass, a downright cold air mass, definitely below normal temperatures for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in the Mid-Atlantic region, in the Great Lakes, in the Northeast U.S. We'll go out a little bit farther in time, and here we go all the way out into Monday, and finally into the day on Tuesday. Look at that, still sitting and spinning over Arizona. Still some unsettled conditions down there, and again, broad northwest flow of air pushes in colder than normal air for the northeastern part of the nation for the first half of next week. Well, here's a look at the 850 millibar temperature anomalies as we begin the day here on Thursday. This is where a lot of activity will start to set up. Right in here, there's a dichotomy of temperatures here, with much warmer than normal to the east and colder than normal to the west. This is charging to the south and east, and this is edging east, and all of this will slide on into the Mississippi Valley region, setting up a battle zone or a clash zone between the cold air to the west and the warm air to the east. Here we go into the afternoon, into the evening hours, and here comes that surface cold front way below normal. Colorado all the way to California here, but well above normal to the east of there, across the eastern half of the nation. A beautiful day today in the Mid-Atlantic region, with highs well up in the 70s in some areas. But here's that surface cold frontal system located in the middle part of the nation by early tonight, and that will help set the stage, I think, for a severe weather outbreak later on tonight into the early morning hours of Friday. Again, centered in the region from southeastern Oklahoma across Arkansas into southern Missouri, but certainly there can be severe thunderstorms all the way from Texas to Ohio and Indiana with this particular pattern here. Now, Friday morning, it stays very warm in the Mid-Atlantic region relative to normal for the middle of March, but there will be some showers associated with that same frontal system, much weaker variety, though, up in the northeast as compared to what I expect overnight tonight down across the Mississippi Valley. Still colder than normal conditions in the western half of the nation. Now, we'll just kind of quickly go through the weekend, which will be relatively mild in the Mid-Atlantic, Northeast U.S. But here we go by Sunday. That next cold shot drops into the northern plains, and it continues to move south and east for Monday and Tuesday. And into the day on Wednesday, we still have some cold air hanging on. So certainly a few days of below normal conditions for the Mid-Atlantic, Northeast U.S. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Probably, generally, we'll see high temperatures in the 40s in the I-95 corridor, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. Certainly 50 degrees or lower for those 3 days for the afternoon highs, and that compares with 70s, well up in the 70s this afternoon. A lot of cold air by the middle of next week up across Canada here, with way below normal temperatures for this time of year. Well, let's wrap up with the surface forecast maps beginning here early Thursday morning. And again, it talked about this influx of very warm and humid air from the Gulf of Mexico into the Mississippi Valley, especially the lower middle Mississippi Valley region. We'll see an explosion of showers and thunderstorms later on tonight, as depicted by this zero-Z run of the GFS. But again, a main contributing factor is an influx of very warm and humid air. At the same time, cold air is moving south and east across the Rocky Mountain states, and there is indeed a surface cold frontal system. That is where that battle zone sets up overnight tonight into the early morning hours on Friday. Now, let's move forward here. Still a lot of snow to go for Denver, Boulder, Colorado Springs, with a long-lasting upsloping event here. Now we get into the evening hours, and notice here, right here, in the warm sector, on the warm side of the storm system, starting to show some heavier rainfall here with last night's run of the GFS, and that kind of explodes right at this time here. We're talking the middle of the night tonight from, again, southeastern Oklahoma across northern and western Arkansas into southern Missouri. This is the real enhanced risk zone for some severe weather. Still snowing overnight tonight in much of Colorado and New Mexico, and that will be heavy at times. Will go overnight. Some of that severe weather shifts into the Tennessee Valley region late tonight into early Friday morning, so be on the lookout for that across western Kentucky, western part of Tennessee. Still snowing in much of Colorado, much of the Four Corners region early tomorrow morning. Then we'll move forward here, and that cold front will be kind of the big item here to watch up to the north and west of the Great Lakes by the middle of the weekend. And a cold front does slide through the northeastern states late in the weekend, and that just ushers in quite a cold air mass. This is by Monday morning. We're seeing thicknesses all the way down to 534 here, and that's still dropping. We'll go all the way out to late Tuesday morning, all the way down to 522 thickness south of D.C. That's pretty darn cold air for this time of the year. So a big cold shot coming Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with well below normal temperatures, and it will feel a whole lot different than this afternoon, where high temperatures can reach the middle 70s in some parts of the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor. So a lot more snow headed for Colorado over the next 6 to 12 hours or so. Really lasts all the way into early morning on Friday because of the slow movement of that upper level wave and a long lasting flow of air. That is an upsloping flow of air. Very mild today and tomorrow in the mid-Atlantic, northeast U.S., but colder than normal Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, this has been meteorologist Paul Dorian.